Imagine winning the lottery. What would you do with that money? Have you ever asked your spouse or your friends that question? It's fun to think about. It's fun to think about all the endless possibilities that you can do with that vast amount of money, right? Maybe you would spend it on luxurious things. Maybe pay off all your bills. You know, maybe invest it in toward a future generation of your family. Maybe you would give it some to your family and some to your friends. Maybe you would also, maybe do some good with it. Maybe give it to the church, give it to a charitable organization. Maybe offer it to the homeless. If you had that amount of money, could possibly change the world. Yeah, maybe. But let's get on back to reality, right? I didn't win the lottery, and chances are you probably didn't win it either. Okay? But what if I told you that right now you already have something that's worth more than all the money in all the world? It's the gift that has been instilled in you from God, our Father Almighty. Let me introduce myself. My name is Marcos Lopez, and hello to all of my friends and family out there. And for those of you who saw my last video, let me go ahead and put this disclaimer out there again. I'm not a priest, a theologian, a preacher. I'm just simply a Christian who loves Christ and just feels like it's part of all of our jobs to spread his message. And so that's what I'm doing today. Everything that I say may not be 100% right on the money, theologically correct, but it is going to be straight from my heart. Last week, we talked about how God has made us perfectly designed to do the job that you were sent to do. And along with that design, God has instilled in you and in me a unique gift that belongs only to you. You see, these talents, these gifts that each of you have, they're blessings from God. Let me talk a little bit about scripture, and I won't read it to you, but I'll summarize it. In Matthew 25, there is the parable of the talents. And in this parable, let me summarize very quickly, is that there was a man, he had 3 servants, and he's going out of town. He's going out of town, right? And the first servant, he gives him 5 talents. And the second servant, he gives him 2 talents. And the third servant, he only gives him 1. So the man goes out of town, and the servants start to do some things with these talents. The first one turns those 5 talents through trade and different other business. He turns them into another 5. And for the second servant, he does the exact same thing, turns those 2 talents into another 2 talents. And on the third servant, just a little fearful of his master that he kept that talent. He hid it. Well, the master came back into town and wanted to know, what'd you guys do with the talents I gave you? And the first one said, look, I turned the first 5 you gave me into another 5. And the second servant came up and he said, I turned the 2 you gave me into another 2. And the third one came forward and said, I wasn't sure what you wanted me to do with it, so I just kept it so I wouldn't lose it. But here it is back to you. Well, the man got upset and says, why couldn't you follow the suit of the others and turn at least that one into something else? Maybe invest it. So what are the talents that you have that God has given you? Some of you have figured them out. Some of you realize that you have a very special talent that's unique than everybody else. It could be leadership. It could be the gift of gab, the gift of loving, the gift for caring for children, for the elderly. Maybe it's a business sense. Maybe it's being able to read people. Whatever it is, what is it that you're doing with those talents? How are you using them to serve God's purpose? Because I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen out there, that the moment you do exactly that, you use your gifts to serve God's plan, you're going to feel this overwhelming joy. More than any amount of money could ever give you. It's going to be so much joy that you're going to want to keep doing it again and again and again, because you're going to get so contagious of this overwhelming, joyful feeling that you're doing right by it. You see, these talents were given to you to change the world. Now, I'm not asking you to go across the Atlantic Ocean to go and use these talents. Maybe that's your calling. But in reality, the talent that you were given was simply to change your world. What world is that? That's your spouse? Your family? The world of your children? Your brothers and sisters, your family, friends, neighbors, your community that you live in. How are you using those talents to serve them? Because that's the reason God gave them to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want you to spend your entire life holding on to this precious gift that you've been given and never use it. Don't let it be taken away. Rather, use it to serve His plan. How are you going to use your talent today? I love each and every one of you. God bless you. You guys have a great evening.